Listen, there is a silence deeper than the mountains, older than the rivers, more profound than the questions that trouble your heart. It is not a silence of emptiness, but a silence of knowing, a knowing that does not come from thought, nor from words, nor from time, but from the pure presence of being. In that silence, truth speaks without sound. The Buddha did not shout, he did not conquer, he did not persuade through fear or force, he simply saw. He saw reality exactly as it was, and that vision, clear and unclouded, changed the world. You are not here to chase illusions. You are not here to accumulate burdens. You are not here to fight with yourself or with life. You are here to awaken, and awakening is not an act of striving. It is the art of stopping the endless spinning of the mind, stopping the reflex to control, stopping the war within. The awakened do not resist, they transform. Resistance is the ego's way of clinging to the known, the comfortable, the familiar. It says, this should not be, that should not happen, I must not feel this, I must not face that. But in the heart of resistance, suffering grows like a weed. The more you resist, the deeper the roots. To awaken is to turn toward what is, toward your pain, toward your fear, toward the truth you've been trying to outrun. You think you will be free once life changes, but freedom does not wait for conditions to align. It arises the moment you stop demanding that life be different. Freedom is not out there, it is here, in this breath, in this moment, in this very difficulty you wish would go away. Look again, your suffering is not punishment, it is a mirror. It is showing you where you are holding on, where you are asleep, where you are believing the false. The mind believes that control is safety. It believes that having more, knowing more, being more is the way to peace. But peace is not found in accumulation, it is found in release. Release the need to be right. Release the need to be perfect. Release the story that you are not enough. The awakened see the world as it is, not as they wish it to be. And in seeing clearly, they act not from fear, but from compassion, not from ego, but from wisdom, not from grasping, but from letting go. You have been trained to believe that power means control. But true power is the ability to be still amidst chaos, to love in the face of rejection, to smile in the face of uncertainty, to soften when every part of you wants to harden. This is not weakness, this is the highest strength. What is more powerful, to force the river to flow backward, or to learn how to swim with its current? Life is the river. Stop damming it with judgment. Stop poisoning it with regret. Stop fearing its rapids. Let it carry you. Let it teach you. Let it sculpt you into someone more beautiful than your plans could imagine. When the Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, he did not fight the world. He sat still and saw through it. He saw the chains of craving, the wheel of becoming, the illusion of self. And in seeing, he was free. You can sit like that too. You can pause, you can look deeply, and you can choose again. Not the old path of reaction, but the new path of awareness. Not the path of clenching, but the path of opening. Not the path of escape, but the path of embodiment. No one else can do this for you, not the Buddha, not the gods, not the teachers. They can point, but you must walk. You must burn through your stories, sit in your discomfort, welcome what arises. Every emotion, every thought, every breath is a doorway. Will you run from them, or will you step through? This is your life. Do not wait for a better one. Every morning is a rebirth. Every challenge is a calling. Every silence is a sermon. Wake up, not by force, not by guilt, not by fear, but by presence. The present moment is not a place you visit. It is your home. You have wandered long enough. Come back. Come back from your regrets. Come back from your anxieties. Come back from your expectations. Nothing is missing, only your attention. Let go of your battles. Let go of your masks. Let go of your resistance. Breathe, feel, be, and in that being, you will find what cannot be lost, the peace that was never absent, only forgotten. The awakened do not resist, they transform. Transform judgment into understanding. Transform anger into clarity. Transform longing into devotion. This is not the work of a moment, it is the journey of a lifetime, but every step is sacred. Every fall is grace in disguise. Every scar is a reminder that you are alive and still choosing love. You do not have to be fearless. You do not have to be perfect. You only have to be willing. Willing to stay, willing to see, willing to soften, willing to meet life on its terms, for it is only when you stop fighting the waves that you begin to float, not as one who escapes the sea, but as one who has made peace with the tide. And that is the mark of the awakened. They are not untouched by life, they are transformed by it. Let life do its sacred work on you, let it humble you, let it unravel you, let it teach you to kneel, not in defeat but in reverence. Then rise again, not the same, but clearer, softer, braver. You will not find yourself in the perfection of plans. You will find yourself in the imperfection of now. This is the only path. This is the only moment. This is the only truth worth living. And in living it, you awaken not only for yourself, but for the world. Let your life be the sermon. Let your presence be the teaching. Let your transformation be the gift. You are not here to resist life. You are here to transform with it, and in doing so, you walk the path of the Buddha, not by wearing a robe or chanting a name, but by becoming a mirror of presence, a vessel of peace, a flame that no wind can extinguish. This is who you are, not the storm, but the stillness beneath it. So breathe with life, not against it. Notice how the trees do not argue with the wind. Notice how the moon does not resist the pull of the tides. Notice how the lotus does not curse the mud from which it rises. Everything in nature moves with what is. Everything in nature trusts the unfolding, except the human mind. The mind, conditioned and afraid, wants to control. It wants certainty. It clings to narratives, to outcomes, to identities. It says, "This is who I am," and fights anything that threatens the story. But who you are is not a story. Who you are is the awareness beneath the story. When you let go of needing to be someone, you become everything. Your suffering is not a punishment. It is a signal, a doorway, a soft and holy bell calling you to return, not to some perfect version of yourself, but to the present moment where perfection has no meaning, only presence does. Let go. Let go, not because you are giving up, but because you are finally allowing things to fall apart if they must. Allowing truth to rise, even if it cracks your heart open. Allowing life to show up without your filters, without your armor, without your commentary. This is radical acceptance, and it is not passive, it is powerful. The awakened are not passive, they are fiercely present. They do not float through life indifferent. They engage fully, with clarity and compassion. But they do not try to control what is beyond control. They act with integrity and then let go of the result. This is the discipline of freedom. You do not need to know the entire path. You only need to take the next honest step. The path reveals itself not in thought, but in trust. And trust is built not through understanding, but through surrender. Yes, surrender. Surrender does not mean you become a doormat. It means you lay down the weapons you've been using against yourself. You stop defending the wound. You stop justifying the fear. You stop running from the grief. You face it, you feel it, you hold it in your arms like a child who's been screaming for your attention. And in that embrace, something sacred happens. The pain transforms, the anger softens, the fear turns into a kind of strange, unexpected courage. Because you realize you can survive feeling, you can survive discomfort, you can survive uncertainty. What you cannot survive is a life of numbness, a life of pretending, a life of disconnect. The cost of awakening is everything you thought you were, but the reward is everything you truly are. There is no map, there is only presence. There is no guru greater than silence. There is no power greater than your own willingness to see, to be, to love. And that love, it is not the sugary sweetness the world sells you. It is not the fleeting romance of fantasy. It is the fire that burns away what is false. It is the stillness that sees without judgment. It is the quiet yes that meets the moment exactly as it is. That is love. Love that does not cling. Love that does not demand. Love that does not need you to be anything other than awake. You want purpose? Be fully alive. You want meaning? Show up. You want connection? Stop hiding. Let go of the illusion that something outside of you will complete you. No partner, no job, no recognition, no achievement. achievement, no possession. You are already whole, you are already home, but you have built walls in your mind, and now you think you're imprisoned. These walls are made of beliefs. I'm not good enough. I must be perfect. They must love me. I cannot fail. Each one a brick, each one a veil between you and reality. Tear them down, not with violence but with attention. Notice the thought, question it, see through it. Do not believe everything your mind tells you. The mind is not your enemy, but it is not your master either. It is a servant, a powerful one, yes, but a servant nonetheless. Use it wisely, but do not let it rule your heart. The awakened live from the heart, not sentimentality, not naive optimism, but the heart that is vast enough to hold all of it, joy and sorrow, gain and loss, birth and death, without collapsing. That heart lives in you, right now, not someday, not after enlightenment, not once the chaos ends, now. Can you feel it? The quiet pulse beneath the noise, the presence beneath the persona, the stillness beneath the storm. This is your invitation to stop performing and start inhabiting. Inhabit this moment, inhabit this breath, inhabit this life. You don't need to understand everything to love deeply. You don't need to fix yourself to be of service. You don't need to know how the story ends to walk with grace. Let go of the script, let go of the outcome, let go of the roles you've been playing. What happens when you stop trying to be someone and simply be? You become real, and when you are real, you are free. Not free from difficulty, but free within difficulty. You respond instead of react. You listen instead of defend. You soften instead of close. You become the eye in the hurricane, calm, clear, undisturbed. Not because you escaped the storm, but because you remembered who you are inside it. Do you see now? The awakened do not resist. They transform. They transform pain into compassion. They transform endings into beginnings. They transform silence into song. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. Everything you've experienced, the heartbreaks, the disappointments, the lost years, the unanswered prayers, all of it has brought you here. To this breath, to this choice, to this turning point. Will you resist or will you transform? The choice is always yours, and it is made not once but again and again in the small sacred decisions of everyday life. To pause before reacting, to breathe before speaking, to bless instead of curse, to see the divine even in what is difficult. This is the quiet revolution, not a war with the world but a surrender to reality, not a struggle to escape but a practice of presence, not an achievement of perfection but a remembrance of your wholeness. Breathe, return, awaken. You are not here to be someone's idea of success. You are not here to meet society's expectations. You are not here to win the race that no one finishes. You are here to love. You are here to grow. You are here to remember. And when you remember who you are, when you remember what matters, the whole world begins to shift, not because it changes, but because your vision does. You begin to see the sacred in the ordinary, the miracle in the mundane, the lesson in every moment. You begin to bow, not out of submission, but out of reverence. Reverence for life, reverence for truth, reverence for this fleeting, beautiful, mysterious existence. And from that reverence, a new world is born, a world not of domination, but of devotion, not of conquest, but of compassion, not of fear, but of freedom. You do not have to wait. The path is here, the light is within. Walk gently, speak truthfully, love fiercely, and above all, stay awake. So keep walking. Even when the path disappears beneath your feet, even when your faith trembles like a candle in the wind, even when the voices of fear are loud and the world feels like too much, keep walking, not because you know the destination, but because you trust the direction. Trust does not require certainty, it requires presence. You are not here to know all the answers. You are here to live the questions with humility, to hold them in your palms like water, without needing to trap them in a container of logic. The Buddha did not hand out answers. He handed out silence. He handed out presence. He handed out a mirror and said, "Look within." And when you do, when you dare to meet yourself beyond the roles, the ambitions, the masks, what you find is not a problem to be fixed, but a light that was never lost. You were never lost. You were simply looking outward when the truth was always inward. So come home to the temple of breath, where no words are needed. Come home to the stillness behind thought, the awareness behind identity. Come home to this moment, messy, uncertain, sacred. You are not missing anything. You are simply distracted, distracted by the noise, by the chase, by the illusion that peace is somewhere else, someone else, sometime else. But peace is always now. It is the quiet behind your opinions. It is the spaciousness around your thoughts. It is the acceptance that you are enough, not when you achieve, not when you change, not when they approve, but now, here, in this breath, in this body, in this very state of being. Let go of waiting, waiting to be ready, waiting to be healed, waiting to be whole. You are already the light you seek. You are already the answer you crave. What stands in the way is not life, but your resistance to it. The awakened understand this. They do not try to make the moment fit their expectations. They make themselves open enough to fit the moment. They bow, they listen, they adapt. Adaptation is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the ability to stay centered amidst shifting conditions. It is the art of resilience born not from denial, but from deep acceptance. So when the storm comes, and it will, do not ask why it came. Ask instead, how shall I meet it? With fear or with faith, with rigidity or with openness, with reaction or with response. The choice belongs to you, and in that choice lies your freedom. To resist is to suffer, to blame is to remain bound. But to meet each moment with curiosity, with stillness, with compassion, that is transformation, that is liberation, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts, because the wound is not just a place of pain, it is a place of awakening. It is where the light enters, it is where the illusion ends, it is where the story breaks and truth begins. Do not be afraid of breaking. The seed must crack open before the sprout can rise. The night must fall before the stars can be seen. The ego must dissolve before the soul can lead. So yes, you will break, but you will not be destroyed. You will be remade, not as a better version of who you were, but as a truer version of who you've always been. This is the essence of spiritual growth, not self-improvement, but self-remembrance. You are not here to become someone. You are here to remember you are no one, and in that no-oneness, you are everyone. You are the breath of the cosmos in human form. You are the pause between thoughts, the silence behind sound. You are the presence that watches, that knows, that never leaves. Even when the mind forgets, the heart remembers. Even when the path feels dark, the light within you never extinguishes. So walk with that knowing, speak from that stillness, act from that clarity. Let your life be the echo of your presence. Let your choices be the reflection of your awareness. Let your relationships become sacred ground, not because they are perfect, but because they are mirrors in which you learn to love more deeply. Love, not as a transaction, but as a way of being. Love not as a feeling, but as a commitment to remain awake, even when others sleep, even when others hurt, even when others run. Your love is not dependent on their behavior. It is rooted in your freedom. And freedom means no one can take your peace from you unless you hand it to them. So do not give it away, not for approval, not for attention, not for belonging. You belong already to the stars, to the earth, to the unnamable source from which all things arise and return. You are not separate, you never were. Only the mind believed in separation, only the ego drew lines, but the heart sees no borders. The heart knows all things are connected. All things rise and fall together, so let your awakening serve more than just yourself. Let your clarity become medicine for the world. Let your silence become a balm for the noise. Let your presence become an invitation to others to stop running, to stop striving, to simply be, because in that being, everything is already here. Joy without condition, peace without requirement, love without reason. This is the way of the awakened. They do not resist, they receive. They do not demand, they offer. They do not conquer, they surrender, again and again, not to weakness but to wisdom. You can live like this, not someday, now, right now, in this very breath. You can choose presence over performance. You can choose softness over control. You can choose love over fear, and then again, in the next breath, and the next, and the next. This is the practice, not a destination, not a single moment of enlightenment, but 1,000 small moments of remembering, of returning, of releasing. The world may not understand. It may call you naive. It may call you weak. Let it. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be true. You are here to burn brightly in a world addicted to shadow. You are here to walk gently in a world driven by noise. You are here to say yes to the sacred, not because it is easy, but because it is real. Let this be your vow. to see what is true, to speak what is kind, to live what is whole. Let this be your practice, to sit with pain, to breathe through chaos, to remain soft in a world that teaches you to harden. And let this be your reminder, you are not alone. The same breath that moves through your chest moves through the mountains and the oceans and the stars. You are part of the whole. You are held, even in your unknowing, even in your trembling, even in your doubt. You are held, so trust. Not blindly, not because someone told you to, but because you have touched, even for a moment, the peace that needs no reason, the love that asks for nothing, the stillness that is always here, that is the foundation, that is the truth, that is the path. So trust not in guarantees, but in your capacity to meet whatever arises. You are stronger than you think. Not in the way the world measures strength, not through domination, not through force, not through performance, but in the quiet, resilient way a mountain stands through all seasons, in the way a river flows without resistance, in the way the sky makes room for both storm and sunlight. That is your nature, vast, open, unshaken. But you forget. You forget when fear comes knocking and you mistake it for truth. You forget when others reject you and you believe that means you're unworthy. You forget when life doesn't unfold as planned, and you take it as a sign that something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. Everything is teaching. Everything is unfolding exactly as it must for you to wake up. The pain you carry is not a curse, it's a doorway. The confusion you feel is not failure, it's the invitation to deepen. The longing you have is not weakness, it's the soul's hunger for what is real. So do not turn away, do not harden, do not escape. Meet yourself here, in the rawness of it all, in the discomfort, in the not knowing, in the tender places you usually avoid. Let that be the practice, staying foetus, not grasping, not fixing, just being. This is how transformation happens, not by trying to change what is, but by bringing your full, loving, awake presence to it. And in that presence, things begin to shift. Not because you pushed, but because you allowed, not because you forced, but because you trusted. This is the paradox. The more you let go, the more whole you become. The more you soften, the more power you access. The more you stop resisting life, the more life opens to you. And so the awakened do not need to fight. They do not seek control. They move with clarity, act with compassion, rest in stillness. They are not asleep to the world. They are fully awake in it. Awake to its suffering, yes, but also awake to its wonder, awake to its impermanence, yes, but also awake to its astonishing beauty, awake to the pain, but no longer trapped in it, awake to the joy, but no longer addicted to it. They move lightly, freely, lovingly, because nothing needs to be clutched and nothing needs to be resisted. They have died to the illusion of control, and in doing so, they have come alive to the real, and this too is possible for you, not in some far-off future, not in some mystical experience, but here, now, in this very breath. Can you feel it? The door is already open, the silence is already speaking, the moment is already holy, no incense required, no chanting needed, just this, your willingness to be fully, fiercely, tenderly present. That is enough. It has always been enough. All the great teachers pointed not to themselves, but to what lives within you. The Buddha did not ask for followers. He did not ask to be worshipped. He said, be a light unto yourself. He said, no suffering. Understand its cause, realize its end, and walk the path. He offered a way, not a doctrine, not a dogma, but a path of presence, wisdom and liberation, a path you are already walking, even if you stumble, even if you forget, even if you fall. There is no failure here, only learning. There is no punishment here, only feedback. There is no destination here, only unfolding. The awakened know this, and so they do not cling to identity. They do not get lost in blame. They do not waste energy fighting what is. They flow, they burn, they weep, they rise, they rest, they laugh, they serve. Their lives are not free of suffering, but they are free from the unnecessary suffering created by resistance. This is what makes them luminous, not perfection but presence, not control but surrender, not certainty but trust. And you can choose this too. You can live this way, you can breathe this way, you can walk into your day not armored but open, not frantic but focused, not reactive but rooted. You can say yes to life without needing it to be easy. You can sit with pain without needing to fix it. You can meet others with compassion, even when they meet you with confusion, because you are not here to be understood. You are here to understand. You are not here to be above others. You are here to walk with them. You are not here to transcend your humanity, but to live it fully, wisely, lovingly. This is the final paradox. The more fully human you become, the more divine you remember you are. And in that remembering, life becomes sacred again, not in some mystical temple, but in the ordinary moments, washing dishes, watching the wind move the trees, hearing a child's laughter, sitting alone with nothing but your breath. These are not just moments, they are gateways. Every moment is a gate into presence. Every difficulty is a doorway to grace. Every wound is a portal into wisdom. If you are willing to look, if you are willing to feel, if you are willing to stay. This is not a path of escape, it is a path of embodiment, not a path of becoming better, but of becoming real, not a path of trying harder, but of surrendering deeper. So stop waiting, stop seeking, stop spinning, start sitting, start breathing, start listening, and then live. Live fully, live truthfully, live gently, live boldly. Let your life be the teaching, let your stillness be the sermon, let your love be the revolution. This is how the world changes, not through force, but through presence, not through domination, but through depth, not through shouting, but through silence that shines. So shine, shine without needing permission, shine without needing applause, shine without needing to fix or prove or perfect anything. You are not here to dazzle, you are here to illuminate, and illumination begins within. It begins in the quiet choice to stop resisting, to start loving, to start showing up, not as the image you've crafted, but as the soul you are. Imperfect, tender, brave, alive. This is your moment. This is your path. This is your breath. The awakened do not resist. They transform. And now so can you.